Hey, welcome to part two. Wanted to talk to you guys about multiplying polynomials together. Before that, I get into that, and just to reiterate that it should be Thursday right now. And if you haven't done so already, please take the day 2 survey. You guys should have been doing this when we met earlier. So if you haven't done that already, please, it's right here. It's under the week 1 tab. Scroll down to Thursday and take the day 2 survey. Click on that, take that. That counts as your attendance for the day. So please make sure that you guys get that done. All right. I don't want to have to mark you guys absent for not doing that. Okay. Don't forget when you guys are logging in that when you get into Admentum, again, it keeps track of everything that you guys have done. I'm able to see if you guys are on pace or off pace. No one's going to be able to give you a ahead of pace because it's not going to unlock them until the day of, and only certain assignments each day. So you guys just keep up with that kind of stuff, and you guys should be doing great. Don't forget, retake your mastery tests. Right, when if you didn't score a 60 or higher, and keep up the good work. All right, real quickly here about multiplying polynomials together. Now, you guys have probably learned in the past a way called FOIL, and the tutorials that they have for you guys to spend a little time talking about it, but FOIL is only good for binomials, so we just like to more or less think about kind of in terms of the distributive method, really taking a term from one parentheses and multiplying it by everything in the other parentheses. And now to visualize that, we have this, and I call this the box method because you're creating these boxes. Again, they'll show you guys this in the tutorial as well. But what I do is I take one of these terms and I put it on the side. So if I take this first one and I write 2x and plus 3, and I'll take the next one and I'll write x. So this one is x plus 4. Right? I want to include the signs too as well. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these in. And what I do is I multiply. And what we're multiplying is, let's see, here we go. We are multiplying the top term in the first box with the top term on the left as well. All right, so if I multiply 2x times x and I multiply them together, I get 2x squared. Now I'm going to multiply the 4 and the 2x. And the 2x times 4, it goes into this box. And that gives me a positive 8x. All right, and then let's go down to the next number, which is plus 3. And I'm going to multiply it by the x. All right, so we multiply it with something on the left and something above it. And then where those two intersect each other in that box is where it goes in. So 3 times x is a positive 3x. And again, I include the sign as well. And then I multiply 3 times the 4, and that gives me a positive 12. Okay. And if I write that out, that's 2x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 12. Now, what you're going to do, because this isn't done yet, you need to combine like terms. And your like terms, if you write it out this way, will always be in the middle. And another hint is that like terms are always the diagonals in this box method. And that's one way to know if you did it correctly. Okay, these should be like terms, meaning the variable should be to the same power. So the 2x squared stays the same. 8x plus 3x, you add them together, and that gives me a positive 11x plus 12. And that's my answer. Okay. Next one, let's go with 5m plus 2. Does it matter that the 5m went to the left, or could I put it on the top? It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. 8m minus 1. Okay, multiply those together. So 5m times 8m, it goes in this box, is a positive 40m squared. 5m times negative 1 is negative 5m. 2 times 8m is positive 16m. 2 times a negative 1 is a negative 2. Write out what you got. 40m squared minus 5m minus plus 16m minus 2. Hey, where are those like terms going to be? should be right here in the middle. They should be the diagonals. And then when I add them together, 40m squared stays the same. Negative 5m plus 16m positive 11m minus 2. Okay, now earlier I said you could use that FOIL method. They talk about that too as well, and also the distributive method. Really what you're doing is you're distributing. You're taking one of these terms and you're multiplying by both terms in the next parentheses, and look what happened. 2x squared times x gives me 2x squared. 2x times 4 gives me positive 8x. 3 times x gives me a positive 3x. 3 times 4 gives me a positive 12. So that distributive method gives you the same answer as well. Okay, we're just using these boxes to make sure that we don't miss anything. See if you didn't distribute to everything or you missed one of the numbers, that could happen too. So it's kind of a clear way of seeing everything. Plus, it's a good visual that you're going to need to see anyways. And so you want to make sure that you watch those tutorials because it talks about it when you go through the tutorials for today. It talks about x's and x tiles and negative x tiles and x squared tiles and stuff like that. So make sure you guys pay attention to that. That'll be helpful for the mastery test. Okay. All right. A couple more. So this time we've got 6n minus 8. Now I'm putting this here. Notice I have already made these boxes up. And typically you're going to have to make them up yourself. Right? There are two terms. So this is 2 rows. There are 3 terms here. So I'm putting 3 columns. 2n squared plus n plus 7. 3 columns. Trinomial, 3 columns. Binomial, 2 rows. Then we can start filling them in. 6n times 2n squared. What's that going to give me? Let's change colors. Come on. You got this. I think it does. Let's try it. 12n cubed. 6n times n is positive 6n squared. Well, that was cool. 6n times 7 is positive 42n. Now go to the next one. Negative 8 times 2n squared. Negative 16n squared. Negative 8 times n. See how they meet? Go down this column, go across this row, and they meet right here. That's negative 8n. Negative 8 times 7 is negative 56. Okay. Now, how am I supposed to remember, what's like terms? Well, remember I told you guys they are the diagonals. So these better be like terms. Otherwise, I did something wrong when I was multiplying. These better be like terms. Otherwise, I did something wrong when I was multiplying. So if I write it out, 12n cubed plus 6n squared, I'm going to go with minus 16n squared so I can keep my like terms together. And then I'll go with positive 42n minus 8n minus 56. Okay. And then again, this makes it easy for me to see like term, got to combine those. And when I do, I come up with 12n cubed. That gives me negative 10n squared. Positive, what's that going to leave me with? 40, what do we got here? 44n minus 56. All right. So you guys are going to kind of continue that same fashion. I would suggest making the boxes. You don't have to. You can use the distributive method and go, okay, 9a squared times 7a, or 9a times 7a. Oh, that's 63a squared. 9a times 4. Oh, that's positive 36a. Negative 8 times 7. Oh, that's negative 56a. negative 8 times 4. Oh, that's negative, what do I got here? 32. Okay, got a little messy there. Here are my like terms. Combine those to get your final answer. Okay. And same thing with the last one. Doesn't matter if it comes first or second, but again, I would suggest making your box method. Okay. I'd put the binomial on the side, 2x minus 3. You don't have to. It's just what I tend to do. And then the 4x squared plus x minus 6, I'll put that on top. And then you multiply those out. Okay. Let's see. I feel like there's something else. Special cases. All right, so what happens if you see this? X plus 7 to the second power. That doesn't mean distribute the second power, the squared, to the x and to the 7. That won't get you the right answer. What this is saying is you have to take this term, x plus 7, and write it that many times. So what it is, it's x plus 7 times x plus 7. Okay, and look what happens when I multiply those together. X plus 7, x plus 7. That's x squared plus 7x plus 7x plus 49. Here are my like terms. Combine those. That's x squared plus 14x plus 49. Now, if you were just going to square x squared and the 7, you get x squared plus 49, which is not what this is. So you have to remember to do that. It's telling you to write what's in the parentheses, however many times that power says. 7m minus 2p times 7m minus 2p. You multiply those together. Now, you can still do this even with multiple variables. 7m minus 2p, 7m minus 2p. 7m times 7m, 49m squared. How about 7m times negative 2p? Well, it's negative 14mp. Usually you write our letters in alphabetical order when you write them out. Okay, and negative 2p times 7m, negative 14. And again, keeping with alphabetical order, I'm going to write the mp. It's m times p. Anytime you have multiplication, you just put the letters next to each other and they mean multiplying. You don't have to put a multiplication symbol there. Negative 2p times negative 2p is negative, nope, positive 4p squared. All right, where were my like terms? Diagonals. Combine them together. What do I end up with? 49m squared minus 28 mp plus 4p squared. Okay. All right. These multiply, when you multiply these together, these are called the difference of two squares. And what ends up happening, you get y squared plus, y squared minus 8y. Let's see if I can undo that. A little sloppy. Y squared minus 8y plus 8y minus 64. What happens is these terms in the middle cancel each other out. Positive 8y, negative 8y cancel each other out, and you're left with y squared minus 64. Okay, same thing would happen here. Multiply that. Remember, when you're multiplying, you're adding the powers together. So this would actually be t to the 6th plus 6t cubed minus 6t cubed minus 36. These two terms cancel each other out. T to the 6th minus 36. All right, there you go.